I don't really know Jefferson Brown. I met him in my father's office a couple of times. On the surface, he seemed like an honest, straightforward fellow, but no, there was something in his eyes, a hungry look. No, it's difficult to explain.
How long did he work for your father?
Well, I don't think it was even a year. He seemed like a bright enough guy. He got through college on scholarships. He had a military record. Actually, his history is very difficult to trace.
You sound as though you tried.
Yeah, I did.
Here's your vodka tonic, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What was so important about this man, Brown? Did he have something to do with what happened to your father?
I think he had everything to do with it.
Damian was just telling me about his father's suicide, about the allegations against him.
There's no secret about it. I'm sure you've heard the story.
Just part of it. Something about missing documents.
Yeah, just several pieces of paper. That's all. They were enough to destroy my father's life and change my own life. Oh, don't misunderstand me. They were very important papers. They were contingency documents. I'm sure you know what that means.
Yes, defense strategies that could be put into use if they had to, but I'm sure there must be hundreds of documents like that.
That's true. And these were no more or less important than any others, but they disappeared. And the finger of blame pointed at my father. Of course, he was innocent. I know it's natural for a son to defend his father, but my father and I were very close. We always felt totally free to confide in one another.
Even so, Damian, sometimes there are areas in a person's life where no one is included, not even a close relative.
I understand that. I realize that I start from a very deep personal bias. But I have another starting point also. Jefferson Brown.
Are you implying that he was the thief?
I'm absolutely convinced that he stole those documents.
But what was his motive? What, was he a spy?
No, I don't think he was a foreign agent or anything like that. In fact, this was not a political situation. I don't think Jefferson Brown ever had a political conviction in his life. He had one primary concern: money.
And of course, these documents were marketable.
Well, he was greedy enough to think so, but as it turned out, he was wrong. I don't think he got a dime off of them. He just managed to destroy the man who trusted him.
Damian, how sure are you of your allegations?
Well, I do not have any solid evidence, if that's what you mean. If I did, I would have cleared my father's name a long time ago.
But if your father was innocent...
My father was in very bad shape when this happened. My mother had died several years before, and he never really got over it. And then when the documents disappeared, well, I'm sure that he felt a very strong sense of guilt, even though he didn't take them. I mean, it was his department, it was his responsibility. And then when he realized that they suspected him, I think it was just too much for him.
Had you mentioned any of this before now, your theory?
Well, by the time I realized the truth, Nancy, it was too late. After my father's suicide, Jefferson Brown left the country. He went to Switzerland. I later realized that there had to be a connection. He obviously left the country to try to sell those documents.
But you said he didn't succeed.
Well, no, I don't see how he could have. I mean, the State Department changed the contingency plan almost immediately. I'm sure that every major foreign power was aware of that. Those documents were worthless.
So, that left Jefferson Brown in Switzerland.
Yes. And he did something unforgivable there.
What was that?
He died.
That wraps it up. We've got the sworn statements of everyone involved except the perpetrator himself, the late Mr. Romeo Slade. However, I did get this, the autopsy report. Death by lead poisoning.
I don't know, Calvin. Something still bothers me about this case.
Yeah? Like, what?
Well, you look at this yellow sheet, there's not a thing here on burglary. But yet this guy managed to break into one of the most luxurious mansions in town in one of the most exclusive districts with apparently no problem, huh? I don't buy it.
Maybe he's just good at his job. Maybe that's why, you know, never got a conviction.
Maybe, but I'd still like to be assured he didn't have any inside help.
Okay, well, what's your hunch? I mean, we've already checked out the Summers girl. There's certainly nothing in her background of that kind.
Can't say the same thing for Gunther's background, can we?
We certainly can't, but we haven't found anything that connects him with Slade.
Calvin, I think I'm going to have to stop by the Whitney Mansion on my way home tonight. You never know what a surprise visit just might turn up.
Excuse me, I thought you were alone.
He is. Oh, by the way, Miss Bannister, I hear your client copped a plea, got 5 to 10. Cut off light.
I thought you'd be pleased, Chief.
Good night.
Good night, Chief. Miss Bannister, if you've come to ask for another favor,
You can call me Didi.
What? I mean, I recall being told specifically, I can call you Miss Bannister. Now, wasn't that you?
Well, ignore previous instructions, please, and call me Didi.
I see. Well, what, pray tell, brought on this change?
Calvin, I came by to say thank you. You heard the chief, my client got 5 to 10. But it would have been a lot worse if it hadn't been for your testimony, so I would like to buy you a drink or something.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
You see, I am on duty, so I can't drink, but you could buy me a chili dog. Go.
Really nice, Mr. Whitney. No kidding. I really appreciate the way you handled that. Because it's the truth, you know. I did not manhandle that little girl. I do not fool with children. And I was just having a little fun, that's all. We're all entitled to a little fun now and then, are we? Hmm? You know, I was just thinking of the good old days when Miss Martine was living with us.
Stop drinking, Gunther. Your nostalgia is making me sick.
Well, we had fun in those days, Mr. Whitney. And even though Miss Martine was right there, still it didn't stop you from having your fun, did it? Tell me something. Is it going to be the same with you and Mrs. Whitney?
I think I'm going to bed.
And I think you're going to sit right there. Well, come on, you can tell me. Hmm? You're not a one-woman man any more than I am. Hey, wait a minute. Is that the reason for all this? Is that the reason you decided to get rid of your blushing bride because you knew it couldn't be the same with her? Hmm? Yeah, I bet that's it. Yeah, I think you suddenly realized what a big mistake you had made, and you found out that it's not so easy to get rid of a wife legally without paying out a lot of money. Well, same thing happened to me, you know. That rotten first wife of mine, she took me for a bundle. Well, is that the way it was? Oh, come on, you can tell me. You're my pal now.
If you think you can blackmail me into being your drinking buddy, you're nuts.
Well, I was just kidding. Well, more company, huh? Unless, of course, Mrs. Whitney forgot her keys. I tell you, that lady has got to be more careful with her keys. Well.
Gunther, I'm here to see Mr. Whitney.
Has Doc Kavanaugh been talking to you?
Not recently. Why? Should he have?
No. Yeah, Mr. Whitney's here. Police Chief Mallory to see you, sir.
Hello, Chief.
I'm sorry to bother you, Mr. Whitney. It's about the Slade case, of course.
Well, what more can I do? I've filled out the affidavit. I've done everything you asked.
Well, no, I've read your statement and Mrs. Whitney's statement. Mrs. Whitney home right now?
No, she's out visiting friends.
Well, I promise you I won't take up much of your time. You see, I'm just bothered by some of the facts that we've been developing in terms of this break-in last night.
No, he didn't break in. I checked all the doors. There's no damage.
Gunther, we know he got in with his own pass key, and we know how he got the key, but we still refer to it as a break-in.
Well, you know, there is one good thing. He's not going to be breaking in anywhere else. And he's sure not going to be breaking into heaven.
Mr. Whitney, can we discuss this alone, please?
Yes, Gunther, why don't you go clean some silver or something?
Yes, sir. That's a good idea, Mr. Whitney. I'll just clean some silver. Hey, maybe I'll just polish your little boots for you, huh? Get right on that.
11 o'clock news, aren't you?
Charlie Wainwright volunteered, thank heavens. Oh, it's so good to be home early for a change. Where's Jody? Is she here?
Yeah, she's upstairs. She's probably in bed by now.
Oh, she went to bed early, didn't she?
Yeah, at my suggestion.
Why, is she all right?
No, she's not feeling too well at the moment. Can hardly blame her. She had another run-in with Gunther tonight.
Oh, Miles, no.
Yes. This time she was assaulted in the Whitney home. A little bit of confusion about what happened tonight. It's not that I don't believe Jody's story. It's just that it could be that she overreacted a little bit.
Why? What did she say happened?
Well, she said that she went to the Whitney house right after she left the TV studio.
Oh, that's right. She told me she was going there. You know, we never did have that scheduled interview because she decided it wouldn't be a good idea since she decided not to be the star of the dance.
I know, that's what she was going to tell Sky Whitney, but when she got there, he was not available. He was taking a nap or something. So Gunther thought he would take advantage of the fact that they were alone together.
Miles, this has just gone too far now. I refuse to have that man terrorize my
How do you think I feel about it?
Well, that doesn't mean you have to do anything. Oh, Miles, you did do something.
Yes, I strapped on my 6-shooters and went right over there.
Did you go over there?
Yes, I did.
Well, thank heavens you're home in one piece.
I'm home in one piece. I'm just a little confused about something. I saw Mr. Whitney, and he said that nothing happened.
What?
He saw Gunther let Jody in, and that Gunther maybe passed a few unpleasant remarks to her, but there was no assault, nothing.
Oh, I don't understand. Do you believe that?
No, I don't. I don't believe it at all. I think he's probably covering up for Gunther. He probably wants to avoid the bad publicity, but he's going to get something, whether he likes it or not.
Why? What are you going to do?
I'm going to ask Jody to file a formal complaint.
Oh, no, Miles, she won't do that. Now, Whitney is her employer.
Not anymore. Now she's going to quit the company.
Well, what if she refuses? Then
She
what?
won't refuse.
Well,
She
what if
can't.
she does? That doesn't mean that you're going to do anything, does it?
We'll see.
Oh, Miles, you mustn't. Really, now, that man is dangerous. You can't deal with somebody like that without the support of the law. Oh, please, Miles, I don't want anything to happen to you or to Jody.
Hey, Mac, how's it going today? Hey, Louis, how about 2 chili dogs and some coffee in the booth, okay?
One, 2, and Vino.
I know you won't admit that you were kind in that hearing. It probably offends the macho image you have of yourself.
And what makes you think I've got a macho image of myself?
Are you kidding? Every cop does. They couldn't be cops if they didn't.
I see. And what image do lawyers have of themselves?
Very wise. Very fair.
Mm-hmm.
Protectors of the weak and innocent. Also very rich.
There's the word, rich.
Of course I want to have money. I just don't think I ever will, that's all. So I'll settle for what I can get.
Oh, and what might that be?
Satisfaction in my job. Chili dogs. Love.
Oh, and how are you progressing with the list so far?
I'm enjoying my work. And I have my chili dogs.
And the latter?
I'm still waiting on the rest.
Oh, you mean there's no someone special somewhere?
Nope. There was someone special once, but I left him behind in law school. Actually, he dropped out in his 3rd year and went to work for an uncle in the insurance business. And right about now, he's making about 5 times my income.
Oh, that much, huh?
Okay, 5 times my income is not very much.
Right, and in that case, I think I'd better pay for the food.
Oh, no, definitely. This is on me. I have to thank you some way.
Didi, I didn't do anything.
But you did. You were fair, and that means a lot to me.
Look, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but you really have to do something about this compassion trip you're on. It's only going to cause you trouble in the long run, believe me.
I know you're right. My brother has something to do with that, probably.
You know, what about your brother?
He's in prison.
You kidding?
My brother used to belong to a gang, and about 2 years ago, they robbed an airport depot. A guard was killed. My brother was just acting as a lookout. He didn't have anything to do with the shooting, but he was sentenced to 20 years.
Ouch. How old is he?
He was 19 at the time.
Must have been quite a blow to your family.
It almost killed my mother. I love my brother, and I know he wouldn't do anything bad. I know he's not really bad, but I'm afraid of what he might be like once he gets out on parole.
Any, other members of your family?
My father. He's in a veterans hospital in Louisiana.
Oh. Gee, I'm really sorry to hear about this. I mean, it sounds like you have had your share of bad breaks.
Hey, Calvin, you'd better watch this compassion stuff.
Okay. In that case, I'll just have another chili dog, please.
Mr. Whitney, do you think it's possible that Slade might have benefited through some inside information, maybe through one of your workmen? Could have provided him with a tip to the layout? Or maybe some of the hired help during the wedding?
No, I don't think so, Chief. If you ask me, it's just a question of Slade reading the stories in the newspaper and deciding that we were ripe for the picking.
That's certainly a possibility. How about your man Gunther? Do you have complete confidence in him?
Oh, yes. Complete confidence.
Well, I guess then that's about it. Oh, no. One more thing. The items that Slade packed together that he was going to take with him. Have you had a chance to look through these yet?
Well, they're all put away by now.
Oh. Well, did you notice that anything was indeed missing?
Well, it's tough to say, you know. I mean, I did not have a complete inventory of everything that was in the house, what with the wedding presents and all, but as far as I can tell, everything is there.
Excuse me, Mr. Whitney. It looks like Chrissy polished all the silver and I couldn't find your boots. Anything else you want me to do?
No, Gunther, why don't you just relax for the rest of the evening?
Very good, sir.
I think I'll be on my way. Thank you very much, Mr. Whitney.
Oh, allow me, Chief.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, Chief.
Good night.
You know, I just heard about the stuff that Romeo was supposed to take. Oh, come on now. You didn't tell him to rob the house, did you, Mr. Whitney?
I'm going to bed.
Yeah, well, one of the most valuable items that was in the house wasn't here when Slade busted in. The pretty little watch you got. The one Mrs. Whitney gave you.
So what?
Well, I sure admire that watch. May I see it for a minute?
No.
Oh, please, just for a minute. Oh, I sure admire this watch. It has my initials, you know. GSW. Well, they're not in the right order, but that doesn't matter. You know, I would be eternally grateful if someone would give me this watch. How about it?
You're mad. Give me that watch.
I think you should give it to me as a token of your esteem for my loyalty. Okay? And this is just the beginning. And I sure hope you understand that.
Oh, yes, Gunther, you are so right. This is only the beginning.